Um, Before I start the other video that I promised I was going to do, and this is the same night, by the way, but I just happen to have this stuff out, so I'm going to do it now. Since there's one landing pad stored in this box, I'm just going to give you a quick overview. I'm going to try to make it quick anyway, because you know how good I'm at that. Quick overview. We can talk about the landing pads in depth when we actually talk about the tower. But since this one is stored in this box, wouldn't that make a good primary hull to some famous starship? I keep on meaning to get white, just to see if I can do it. So I'm not going to go into too many details. So this is our Cricut cutter using Microgramma font. It's very close to the classic face font. These 12 lights are lit up. There are 2 life light kits underneath here that light these guys up. So yes, there's holes drilled in this base plate. Oops, let me just knock that off and not find it. So I'll find it later. And so this is one full landing pad. And you can see on the back that the corners of the landing pad are there, and there. So I'll zoom in here so you can see that there's a landing pad there. And it's held in by these plates here. And there's a lot of technique to make up this landing pad. A lot of technique pieces. So this is the connection to the tower. It's got an EL wire connection, and it's got the life lights connections that I make, 2x4 electric plate and I'll show you the other end when we do the tower. So not too many details, but it's just a lot of technique. 2 layers, row here at the bottom. It's kind of dark. Let's see if I can get a little lit. I'll do it when it's better lit up. And then, so there's 2 rows of thickness separated by 2 rows of plates. And right in the middle here is where I actually put the life light bricks. So I left a little hollow space inside. But again, 36 wing plates, 4x9 wing plates. The hinge plates that I showed in another video. And this is what happens. It's a perfectly round circle. So this guy and this guy, minus the actual gantry. The gantry doesn't go in this box. And the monorail gets stored separately. This monorail is its own little box, and so I can leave it inside the house, not in the garage, because the monorail with the topper on it will get bad in the garage getting hot and cold all the time. But the landing pad, the rocket lander, the rocket launch pad, the observation deck, and my monorail station all fit into one box. And I'll get that box up here, and I have to move this stuff out of the way for a sec, because I'll show you the box. Put this down here. I'll put this over here somewhere. Should have thought about this. So I'll slide this down over. Oops. Make some room up here. Hopefully without breaking anything, there should be enough room. So I built these boxes last winter. Classic space arrow pointing up, because this side up. A lot of people go, they're supposed to be pointing down. And then I say, hey, can you help me move these things? And the arrows are pointing down, I'm going to flip over. So I have them pointed up. It handles from Home Depot. This is the front Neon Classic Space logo. And down here, OBB CSL, Ontario Brick Builders Classic Space Layout. This is the number that's on those 6x5 bricks, 1x6x5 bricks that are in the Beta 1 command base and the other one. And this is box number 1. So, hinge plate, piano hinge all the way down. And on this side, we have clasps that hold it closed. So we open it up. And we just broke something. Fix that in a sec. Room's a little small. So here I have some shelving sliders in here. And on top I have these plywood. They're not studs, but they act just like Lego bricks, because on the bottom of this guy I've created a hollow. So you can actually stack these boxes on top of one another and they stay stacked, which makes my life a lot easier. Oh yeah, I did break that. Anyway, so here I go. I'm gonna have to put the box down for a second. Because the first thing you have to do is take this guy apart. So this comes off. This does not get stored in this box. This goes in a separate box. This comes off. I'll take the red out. If you saw that video, I have these red friction pegs, and that comes off. The monorail loop comes off. It goes into the monorail box. Hide that. These guys come off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those come off. Put those aside over here. And the minifigs actually come off. These minifigs are laid out around here during the show. And actually you have to take these guys off too. I'll show you why in a sec. So put this in here. So now this is your base rocket platform. And then you take these guys. You put it right there. This is how you cheat a lot. And let me just get over here, grab this guy. Because this guy goes right on top of this guy. Just like that. So, and he locks down on top of those 4x10s so it doesn't move. So now that is stuck on top of this guy. And then what I do, it's a bit of a cheat because I do have a bin for all loose pieces, but for this thing I just put them on here and they just stay there and not void there in the space guys. These guys get stuffed into these things here so they can just be here when I have to take it out again. Those guys are there. These guys are here. And then we'll set that aside for a sec. Get the box back up top. This is half-inch plywood. Half-inch plywood. And basically, exactly, 2 base plates. Did I put those base plates away? I did. So if you can see this, 1 base plate, 2 base plates, with a little bit of a gap on the end there, a 1/4 inch, less than a 1/4 inch, 3/16, and that's because I actually have train track, and the train track has those little nibs on the end. So it's not exactly 20 inches, it's 20 and 3/16, if I remember correctly, on the inside. And also with that, you put 2 side by side, they're not 48 inches. They're 44 inches because I think this is 22 outside. And that way on my minivan, it has a bed that will hold 4 by 8 sheets of plywood. You put these 2 boxes side by side and you still have a little sliver of room to slide the rails down that basically the whole layout stays on top of. So this guy, I'm not used to doing it this way, but I'll drop it and make a big mess right now. This guy slides right in the bottom. See that? There we go. So, put this piece back in. So there, the whole thing. And it sits flush and the door will close and lock up. Okay, so that's layer 1. Layer 2 is just as much fun. So I took, this is HDF hardboard, 1/8 thick. It's got some little bit of strength to it. I painted it blue on this one side, and I put holes in it here. Here and here, because when I actually put the layout together, the base and the layout, these boxes underneath the layout, and there's gaps between the boxes, and I just put this between the gaps so to hide looking underneath the layout, and maybe I'll show you the show. So anyway, so there's this guy. As I say, I put it behind. I don't think you see it because the box is in the way. But basically, I put it on top of this guy like that, and then when I'm holding it, open the door again. There we go. Door's open. That you can see, I can now hold this thing up. It's on top of the plywood, so less for me to worry about. Oops, I'll put it this way. I like this way better. I'll show you what happens when I. Oops, I forgot to do. And now that I forgot to pop these things off. The ends have to come off first. So I might put foam, just like for the spaceships. I might put foam on there just to hold it in place. So now this building fits all the way to the back and it sits flush to the front. And then these guys, one goes here, one goes here, and you can still close it. Close it anyway. And the very last top layer, again, so there's another hardboard 1/8, and again, this is for the other side, so I can cover the gap. Put that in there, right on top. And my very broken now landing pad that I broke, that I ran over with my. Usually it's not staying on the floor, but this is what, again, this I talked about before. I might hot glue these EL wires in there because the EL wires are slightly smaller than the clippy tiles, the tile clips. But it doesn't take me that long to fix that, so it's all fixed now. So that just goes right on top, right up there. Now again, I might put foam, glue it to this guy to hold this thing, because this thing does slide around, but if I stick it to the back, I can actually put other stuff in here. But that's that entire box now. Box 1 goes back in the storage now, and that's it. Now, it's a good solid box. You can stack on top of it. You can pick it by the handles. It goes right into the van. Things don't shift around inside. I haven't had problems with breakage when things are in the box. And that's why I haven't done foam inside the box yet. But I'm thinking if I do longer trips, if we go to, say, back to Brick World or something like that, and we're not just going to Toronto, which is just like half an hour for us, I might convert some of these platforms here to foam inserts. So this thing would be inside a foam insert, so it wouldn't shift around at all. And this thing wouldn't shift around at all, because of course you can see it does move around. This thing doesn't move anyway, because again, the base plates go right to the edge. So this thing does not move at all. And because the hardboard is sitting on top of this guy, it doesn't compress. This guy does go down a little bit, because again, I had to put the rails higher than the building, because I couldn't fit the building in with the rails there. So this thing actually does come down. But with one landing pad on top of it, it really doesn't make it too curvy. But that's box number 1. The gantry itself goes into a different box, and I'll show you that when I get there. It goes into box number 2. So when I get to a show, all these big square boxes come out. They go boom, boom, boom on the ground. Front to back, they're 5 feet apart. From front to front, from left to right, they're 7.5 feet apart. This is box 1. It goes in the left. Do I actually have that? So let's look at the color layout, because it's actually better. So box 1 goes here underneath the rocket platform. Box 2 goes here near the habitat. Box 3 goes here near the big building, and box 4 goes here, and box 4 is full of miscellaneous. So box 1, obviously, there's rocket platforms in there. This building's in there, and that building you just drop down. And the actual observation deck just gets put on a separate table for a while until you actually get this building built. So box 1, this is right below where you need it. Box 2 is basically the entire box 2 is the habitat. And when we pull that out, it's going to be like a nice, easy one. But actually, you just open up box 2. The gantry's in there, so you put that aside, or you put the gantry onto here. And then you just drop the habitat down, and that's the end of box 2. Box 3 is going to be an important one, because box 3 contains all the base of the big tower. And box 4 contains the rest of the tower, as well as some miscellaneous things, including these corridors and stuff. So box 1's done. Maybe I will get box 2 tomorrow night, just to show you that one. But again, so all these buildings fit into all 4 boxes. I have 4 other boxes that are different size than this one. They contain, as I showed you here, the 9 modules, all 9 modules, as well as the ships, the cars, the vehicles, whatever else I have that I put down in the layout. So these square boxes contain all the buildings, and the other boxes contain the platforms or the modules, the monorail, the vehicles, and the spaceships. So I got 8 boxes altogether, and then I actually have the joists and the perimeter, the frame that the entire lake goes on. So I'll get into that. So anyway, I thought I'd do this tonight. So now I'm off to bed because I'm getting to the point where I'm slurring my speech more than usual. So I'm gonna get some sleep tonight, and maybe we'll actually get to box 2 tomorrow or sometime later this week. Again, everybody stay safe, stay healthy. Drop me a line, say hi, make sure, tell me that you're doing well, and there you go. Talk to you.